Have you ever felt like you're losing your sense of reality? Perfect Blue is a 1997 animated film directed by Satoshi Kon about a young pop idol, Mima, who decides to turn into an actress and take mature roles that disappoints her fans to the point of stalking, but also an agent. Throughout the film, we see Mima question her decisions and, due to several experiences and events, lose a sense of what's real and what's in her imagination. Perfect Blue is a confusing film, and it's made that way on purpose to allow the audience to go through the same experiences the same way Mima does. Mima is an unreliable protagonist, so we see things subjectively through her perspective. I'll go over this more during the piece, as there are several themes and clues that tie into this topic. Red is the most prominent color seen throughout the film, to the point that it's also in every frame. Sometimes the color is in your face and others are subtle, as seen in the elevator scene where Mima's agent talks about a role to appear in a rape scene, to others where it's a part of her outfit and so on. Red tends to incite us to danger, whether it's immediate or used as a foreshadowing effect. Whenever the color appears, something bad happens, including people connected to Mima's transition to acting or an event that Mima wouldn't necessarily do in the past as a pop star. And throughout the film, the color red grows from a brief item here and there to Mima being surrounded by it, showing how entranced she is into this situation. The color white is used briefly also, but it mainly indicates innocence or a reference to Mima's idol days, where she'd be considered too pure to do what she went on to do. As a film about identity, reflections are used just as much as the color red to explore the duality of Mima from the pop star to the actress. We see Mima in the reflection of a computer screen, foreshadowing issues with stalking, which I'll go more into detail about later. Her image on multiple TVs while walking by, a mirror, and Mima herself blending into one, and much more. We even see a reoccurrence of Mima looking into a fish tank throughout the film, with the fish swimming initially, then being dead when things turn wrong, and some swimming as she gains a sense of her reality back again. In all these scenes, Mima questions herself and her decisions. She feels the impact of her actions, and she's not proud of herself. She can evaluate the event without the influence of someone else and is disappointed. The reflections sometimes add a sense of what's going on in Mima's imagination and what's in reality. As stated earlier, Perfect Blue intentionally blends reality and fiction due to the subjectivity of Mima's perspective. Everything that occurs appears real to her and therefore isn't deciphered as an imaginal occurrence and such. Satoshi Kon has said,
ててわからないっていうことはないんじゃないかなっていう気はしたんですけど、まあもうちょっとね最初のそのシナリオだったり、最初に考えた工程ではもっとなんか説明的なっていうのは分かりやすく見せなきゃと思ってたところがあったんですけど、まあいろいろ諸般の事情で、当初予定したものをなくすとかね、そういったことで、多少分かりにくくなってよかったなと、もうちょっと不親切でもよかったんじゃないかなっていうのは思いましたけどね。説明しすぎかなっていう。ちょっとなんかね見てる人が困るようなものにしたかったんですけどね、なんか親切になっちゃいましたね。
even some events in the movie are fake but have actual meaning to Mima. Mima's Room, a website that talks about what Mima has done, but is something that she did not write herself, describes actual events that occurred, but she didn't post herself. Mima did go grocery shopping, but she did not post that on the website. On a side note, with the film coming out in 1997 and how long it takes to animate films being about 2 to 3 years, meaning that this project started initially in about 1994 to 1995, the film foreshadows how the internet would and unfortunately has been used as another platform for people to stalk others and learn personal details and information about. Another example is the rape scene. The scene isn't real, but Mima is just as affected by being portrayed as a victim. Even the movie Mima is in, Double Bind, a play on words and balance, I must say, the scene tends to mimic her life with lines like, "Excuse me, who are you?" being said, and scenes referring to personality disorders. The lines are blurred everywhere, including scene transitions that skip time and question their reality at times, helping you as the audience feel just like how Mima does. Men throughout the film decide the outcome of Mima's decisions, also known as male gaze, where the men put their expectations and fantasies onto the women. At the beginning of the film, we see guys talking about the possibility of her leaving the group. The group has mostly a male audience, so there's an image that is upheld to feed the demographic of innocence and the purity unfairly. The stalker, that some would say isn't exactly attractive, follows Mima and is the writer for Mima's room. He even buys all the magazines that has Mima's provocative and sexy pictures to not allow anyone to see her in that fashion. He's trying to uphold an innocent image that he enjoyed of her, which is unrealistic. Mima's room presents Mima in a positive light, but later turns nasty the more Mima does certain things. The male agent tends to encourage the provocative roles, such as the rape scene, with Mima agreeing with him over the female agent Romi. There's even a reflection of him behind Mima in a scene to show his influence. He later nonchalantly mentions other roles to Romi that has the same sexual content involved. Ironically, all the men that had an impact on Mima's transition later died, mainly by being stabbed in the eyes, representing the lust and candy-eye image that is presented to the world through their decisions. There is no consideration for Mima's intent or feelings with their actions. Romi, the female agent, is revealed to be singer Mima, or the Mima that wasn't in Mima's imagination, at the end of the film, and is completely surprising. There are definitely signs, though, that foreshadow this reveal that include the color red and reflections. Mima's car is red, and sometimes she decides to wear red clothing. She is also seen with car lights flashing on her and her reflection with Mima in the car window. The movie mentions that she has personality disorder, but the question is what happened to her. It's possible she's the killer that's referenced throughout the movie, but why her? Maybe she was always like that, but I think the position that she was in of watching Mima's transition from pop idol to actress took a toll on her. Mima sided with the male agent over her about the rape scene, and Romi later cried at the rape scene, showing how she's affected by this event also. There's a chance that she might have been living vicariously through Mima. As an agent, she presents the talent instead of actually being the talent. But Romi trying to be Mima and kill her is just the toll of Mima's image changing and her not accepting it. With all this being said, what's the meaning of perfect blue? The title refers to balance in the sky, and in turn balance in Mima's life. Throughout the film, the battle is Mima finding herself and changing herself and not for others. Satoshi Kon said,
話は出てたけど、そういう現実感の喪失っていうか、それをなんかこう、今足元が危うくなってって、まあ、今回だとその劇中劇と、バーチャルっていうのと、一応現実として語られるものっていうのがあって、まあ、それが交錯していくっていうところでその自分がどこに立っているのか、現実感を喪失していく感じっていうのを、まあ、ずっと書いてるんですけど、それでだからそういったものを、なんでしょうね、自分の中でこう超えて私はここにいるっていうことをこうきちっと取り戻す。そのためには誰の助けも借りられなくて、自分で乗り越えるしかないっていうような、そういったようなことなんじゃないかな。
So at the end, I think Mima found herself. She knows who she is. Sure, the rearview mirror is there for the audience to question if she did, but the sky is balanced at the end, and she isn't paranoid. I believe that the other side of her is still there as presented by the red car, but she's driving it now, not Romi. She's in control, and the rear mirror is just a look back or reflection, a reminder of her past. She's moving on as seen with her about to drive off. So I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis of Perfect Blue. If you haven't seen this, you should definitely check it out. Satoshi Kon is one of my favorite directors in animation. I also did a review of his TV show Paranoia Agent. It's kind of lighter than this and easier to understand, so you can start off with that and come to this, but this one is definitely like his best movie. I want to thank Sean Goodwin. I told him I was going to do this review and analysis. It took me a while, but I did it, so hopefully you like this, and hopefully you can understand this movie a little bit more. Same thing with my first Patreon, Luigi at Large. Thank you, and I hope more people decide to help me out on Patreon. I'll put a link down here in the description. But thank you. I hope you guys really did like this analysis, and let me know what movie you guys want me to do an analysis of next. As said before, I would like to do maybe one a month. I'm thinking about doing maybe a side video, maybe something about movie trailers or something along those lines, the box office. But if you're new, you want to hit the like button for this video. You want to hit the subscribe button for this channel, and you want to join the quest.